Jordan Nolan of the LA Kings is somewhat of a bruiser. And when his defenseman Drew Doughty went into the Edmonton Oilers goalie, I believe his name is Scrivens, Ben Scrivens, of course, he used to play for the LA Kings, has many friends still on the Kings. Though he did have a fine quote before I even get into this saying, look, I have friends on that team, but I don't care about the Kings now. I'm an Oiler. I'm with the Oilers. Those are my teammates. It was a great response. So Drew Doughty goes into Ben Scrivens. And one Edmonton Oiler named Jesse Joensuu went after Drew Doughty and put him on his ass for it. And then a scrum erupted when play was stopped. And here's what happened. Jordan Nolan, focus on the middle right of the screen. You see Jordan Nolan, middle right, taking a blatant cheap shot at Jesse Joensuu. Horrible, horrible. We'll get into Ben's take in just a moment. Now, the second video that is a little more drawn out. Go ahead. But, I mean, suspension, obviously. They are tough when it comes to this sort of stuff. I say, I don't know, 2 games, I think would be correct. Look, it was a blatant cheap shot. If you want to...
That's not enough.
If you want to...
Punched a guy.
It's not enough?
Yeah, it's an assault. He punched him. Like
I knew you were going to have that take,
the NHL
which
wants to take this seriously, then take it seriously.
They still have fighting in their league.
Well, stop the fighting and stop the
Never
punching.
happen.
Okay, well, I mean, then prepare for, you stay your... I mean, that's fine. And the NHL has got serious fans, and it's a fun, interesting game in like 12 cities. Then just prepare to be in 4th place forever. And I think they are. That's fine. They probably can't move up anyway.
Well, losing out on ESPN, when ESPN dropped the NHL, that was big. I mean, that certainly dropped their popularity a lot.
We don't need to get into all that.
Sure.
That should be a 10-game suspension. But one thing I thought was interesting is that you described that as a sucker punch, and it got me thinking, and I guess the stories may be describing it as a sucker punch also. Isn't every punch a sucker punch unless the two people are like this, and fully know that they're about to get punched?
Yeah, a little. Yeah. Sure.
I mean,
go ahead.
Like, when is a punch not a sucker punch?
Yeah, I mean...
Like if you're boxing.
A boxing, sure.
Hey, there's no sucker punches in boxing.
No. But I mean, there is. Come on. Do I really have to bring it up? Floyd Mayweather against Victor Ortiz. Do you remember seeing that?
No, I don't remember.
Of course you don't. Anyone who saw that obviously knows. So here's what I'll say. I agree with you, but it depends on the degree of the sucker punch. Like when the Canucks faced the Bruins in the Stanley Cup final, and Brad Marchand, who is a pesky little man for the Bruins, tough as hell though, and he was going up against Henrik Sedin. He had his hand was in the collar of Sedin, and he just kept jabbing. A little bit. Does that count as a sucker punch? I mean, he did it because he knew Sedin would not react, because Sedin's one of the best players on the Canucks. If he reacts, he goes to the penalty box for 2 minutes.
But that's such a silly game. That's so silly.
Why is that silly?
Because when you can punch a guy with impunity,
it was a soft jab
because you know
time.
the guy won't hit back because he's too good. Then that guy should get suspended for 50 games. Then he wouldn't do it.
Even if it's just like,
don't punch people.
Soft.
No punching.
No punching.
That would be my rule in sports, and that would include boxing.
I feel like you just pull.